What up, and welcome to the Grizzly Guy, the segment where I talk about character origins and classic storylines from our favorite comics. I'm Mean Joe Grizzly, your historian of heroes, observer of multiverses, sage of stories, and more importantly, your friendly neighborhood comic nerd. Before we dive into the comic multiverse, please make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications to the channel so you don't miss more episodes of the Grizzly Guide, as well as the other forms of badassery that I offer. And please make sure to follow me on all social media platforms by clicking the links in the description below. So welcome back, strap up, we're heading back in for part 2 of The Crow. Book 2, Fear. We cut across town in the basement of a burned-out tenement building where two thugs, Skank and Tom Tom, are roughing up and accusing this guy for giving info to the police. The two of them are convinced that he gave up info no matter how much the guy pleads. I believe he's lying, Skank. No, I didn't, I swear. Please, he just brought a paper. I love it when they beg. The two despicable individuals begin stabbing the man to death, but Eric is watching. You really get off on doing this, don't you? Yeah, it gets my blood pumping. Kinda makes you lose your head, huh? But suddenly Skank's head is sliced off of his shoulders. What the? Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Eric appears wielding the katana that took the head of Skank. Hello, Tom Tom. What the hell is this? Go for the gun, Thomas. It's bedtime. Lights out. Eric slices through the light fixture cable, enveloping the room in the pitch-black darkness. Come on, I'll play your game. Tom Tom begins firing blindly into the dark. Now I lay me down to sleep. I got him. I know I got him. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Tom Tom steps on the broken shards of the light bulb that Eric cut down, startling him. If you die before I wake. Oh God, Jesus Christ! As he fires blindly once again towards the sound of the crushing glass. Jesus Christ walks into a hotel. Tom Tom searches for Eric in the darkness with a smoking revolver in his hand. He hands the innkeeper 3 nails and asks, Can you put me up for the night? Watch your step, Tom Tom. The blade of the katana slices through the darkness, cutting Tom Tom's feet off at the ankles, leaving the feet standing in place. Eric moves all the bodies into one room, setting them beside each other, and turns on the lights. Eric throws a knife into the air, sticking it firmly into the ceiling, and sits beside Tom Tom, who is clearly in shock. Those are my boots over there. Tom Tom, a year ago you helped kill a man and a woman. There was no money, but you took a ring she had on. Do you remember? A ring. A ring. A man and a woman. He turns to Eric in shock. You're him, aren't you? I am. But I saw you die. As you see your own death before you now. T-Bird was on top of her. She was screaming and crying. I wanted her to shut up. I kicked her. She screamed and screamed, and I kept on kicking her until her face was all bloody. And then T-Bird shot her. He shot her in the head, and blood splashed all over my pants. My feet are cold. Can I have my boots? You'll be asleep in a minute, Tom Tom. Where's the ring? The ring. T-Bird always sold that stuff down at Garrot, Gideon's Pond. I'm cold. Can I go to sleep now? How wonderful is death. Death and his brother sleep. Eric leaves Tom Tom in the basement to bleed to death and heads over to Gideon's pawn shop. We are introduced to the owner of the shady pawn shop, the sleazy Gideon, as he sits behind a counter and counts his money. Christ friggin' ratso pimped me for 40 again. That lousy scum. There's a knock at the shop door. Hey, piss off. Can't you see I'm closed, idiot? The knock persists. Don't you hear so well, dirtbag? I'm closed. The shadowy figure on the other side of the door fades away, but then bursts through the door with violent force, revealing themselves to be Eric. Why, you friggin' punk. Mr. Gideon, I believe you have something that is mine. I'm looking for a girl's ring. Gideon pulls a pistol under the counter and points it at Eric. You're looking for a corner, pal. It's an engagement ring. I'm counting to 3 and I'm gonna blow your head all over the wall. 1. Mr. Gideon, you're not paying attention. 2. 3. Eric effortlessly smacks the gun out of Gideon's hand, and in the same motion, tacked down Gideon's hand to the counter with a large knife. Shocked, but understanding the situation he is in, Gideon begins to cooperate. 1 moment, please. T-Berg sold you the ring 1 year ago. Gideon grabs a box from under the counter and with shaky hands hands it over to Eric. Almost everything T-Bird brought me is in here. Eric grabs the box and stares in disgust. The box is filled with thousands of pieces of jewelry from seemingly thousands of victims. My God. Eric sits down on the shop floor, closes his eyes, and calls out Shelley's name, seemingly to beg for assistance in finding her ring in a literal pile of jewelry. Shelley. Eric begins picking out each ring and tossing each one that isn't Shelley's across the shop floor. No. Meanwhile, a sobbing Gideon desperately struggles to remove the knife and free his hand. Son of a goddamn motherfucker. Oh man, Jesus. You're gonna die, you punk. Eric finds Shelley's ring, and at the same time, Gideon pulls out the knife and frees his hand. Yeah! Gideon reaches under the counter and pulls a large revolver from underneath. Surprise, surprise! Look what I got for you up here, punk. Why, Mr. Gideon, you completely forgotten about your Walter. Eric pulls the pistol that slipped from Gideon's grasp earlier and empties the entire clip into Gideon, blowing holes into his stomach, chest, throat, face, and head. Eric ejects the clip and it hits the floor. So much for the single bullet theory. Eric looks around the shop while speaking to the corpse of Gideon. Why, Mr. Gideon, I see you have a large cache of assault weapons, all quite legal, of course. Any objections to me borrowing, say, a dozen or so? Yeah, I didn't think so. And is that a kerosene heater I smell? Eric grabs an assortment of machine guns and other weapons and then places them in a duffel bag. He then pours kerosene all over the room and lays a lit cigarette on top of the gas can. Suddenly, a young policeman confronts Eric with a pistol in hand. Freeze! Go away, boy. You want none of this. The cop looks around the room and sees the bullet-ridden body of Gideon slumped on the floor. My God, what happened to him? Eric smiles and responds. Lead poisoning. You're under arrest. Look at me, boy. Put your gun away. Bullets don't stop me. Knives don't hurt me. Look at me. I am a pilot error. I am fetal distress. I am the random chromosome. I am complete and total madness. I am fear. Shaking uncontrollable, the police officer still persists. Please, put down the weapons. Eric reads the officer's name tag. Officer Albrecht, I'm going through that doorway. I will not hurt you, but I am leaving. Eric bows in front of Officer Albrecht. and positions his head in front of the barrel of Albrecht's revolver. So shoot if you will. Good God, man. My gun could go off. Albrecht lowers his gun. Oh, damn. What should I say happened here? Tell Sergeant Hook the Crow sends his regards. And it ends tomorrow night. Also, Albrecht, I've set a bomb in the back room. You have about 2 minutes left. I've already phoned the fire department. Eric begins walking out of the shop past Albrecht. Bomb? Have a nice life, son. Bomb? Did you say bomb? Albrecht, standing in disbelief, turns and sees Gideon's body once again. Gideon? Albrecht projectile vomits and runs away to the nearest payphone. I'm out of here. Albrecht calls the sergeant on the nearby service phone. Captain Hook, please. This is Albrecht. The bomb goes off and Gideon's shop is obliterated. We cut to the office of Sergeant Hook. Captain Hook? Damn it, you guys know I hate that. Sorry, sir. This is Albrecht. I just transferred in about 3... I know. What do you want, Albrecht? It's Albrecht, sir. Well, someone called the Crow sends his regards, sir. The Crow? Big guy? 6'5"? Jet black hair? Real creepy looking? Yes, sir. He says it'll all be over tomorrow night. Christ. Jesus Christ. Where are you? What are those sirens? Gideon's pond. Giddy's dead. The Crow torched the place. Fire department got here just in time to see the place get gutted. And you have Mr. Crow in custody, right, Albrecht? No, sir. I let him... He left. What? Jesus, Albrecht. Go home. I'll send the lab guys over. Thank you, sir. Hook hangs up the phone and pauses and places his hand on his head with anguish. He would then get up and head over to a file cabinet and pull out a homicide file on Eric. He would look at the file in his hand and then promptly toss it in the trash. Perhaps God has some wisdom after all. We then cut to Eric standing outside on the street with an assault rifle strapped to his back and a duffel bag full of guns carried by his right hand. Rise and shine, fun boy. I got some serious gifts for you. We then cut to Eric walking up the street approaching his destination when he sees a little girl sitting on some steps. The little girl speaks to Eric. Hey mister, are you a clown? Well, I might be. May I sit with you for a moment, princess? Sure. I'm just waiting on my ma. Where might your mother be? Ugly Patrick didn't have no medicine, so Ma went up to see Mr. Funboy. I'm here for Funboy too. What's your name, little angel? Sherry. That's very pretty. I knew a girl named Shelley once. She's gone to heaven now, though. Sometimes I think I'm bad and God has sent me to hell. This isn't hell, but you can see it from here. How come it hurts so much, mister? I really don't know. Hey, I've got a present for you. Really? What? What? It was Shelley's, but I think she'd like for you to have it. Eric presents the little girl with Shelley's engagement ring hanging from a necklace, and he places it around her neck, and she begins to cry with joy. Geez, mister, nobody's never gave me nothing before. Eric stands up and proceeds up the stairs of the building. I'll go fetch your mother now, honey. You coming back, mister? Please? We'll be together again, Sherry, I promise. Eric goes inside and descends up the stairs until he gets to room 35, Funboy's room. He kicks in the door to see Funboy in bed with Sherry's mom. Well, hello there, Funboy. Who the hell you think you are, you son of a... Shut your mouth, pain junkie. I haven't asked you anything. Hey, if Ralph sent you to collect, you can tell him for me. Are the bones of your sins sharp enough to cut through your own excuses? Man, you best turn around and leave the way you came in before something real bad happens. Sherry's mother, Sandy, cowers under the covers in the bed beside Fun Boy. Fun, he's scaring me. Cats begin to gather in the stairwell. Suddenly the crow appears on Eric's shoulder, but it's unclear if the crow is visible to anyone but Eric. There's a gun under the pillow. I'll kill you before you even touch that gun, Fun Boy. He then looks at Sandy and addresses her. Get dressed, Miss Skin, before the space between us turns into tigers. Get out, Sandy. I'll handle this joker. Sandy gets up to leave, but Eric stops her. Come here, girl. Eric places a hand on Sandy's forehead. I'm scared. Go from this place, Sandy, before he sucks all the light from your eyes. Sherry is waiting. Eric grabs Sandy's face and pulls it closer to his face. Mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of all children. Do you understand? Do you understand? We cut to the stairwell where a lot of cats have gathered as if they were waiting for a command to strike. I have some friends waiting outside to escort you down. Go. Sandy exits the room and Eric slams the door behind her. So, Fun Boy, do you have a pulse, or are you a junkyard of meat and wire? What law of physics holds your atoms together? Pa, something is seriously wrong with you. Atrocity has that effect on me. Well, big guy, I'm on a serious night, so if you got a problem with me, I ain't gonna be much help. Do I even know you? The unseen crow shares an observation to Eric. Track marks, yellow eyes. He's definitely a junkie, but his teeth aren't gray and his skin's clean. Probably morphine. You gonna lecture me or what? Eric stares at Fun Boy and begins another sermon. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which the sword proceeded out of his mouth. And all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So you're a crazy ghost man that's done in Tim and Sanchez, eh? Heard Tom ain't saying much neither. Man, I was there when T-Bird shot your dead square in the back of the head twice. Christ, that gun was so close your hair started on fire. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. I saw the blood of Christ on their skins. Eric stands up and walks over to the nightstand drawer and begins rummaging through it. And for the first time in his encounter, Fun Boy loses his poise and begins to panic. Oh man, don't take my dope. Take the rock and the money, but not my dope. Eric holds up a vial of morphine, looks over to Fun Boy. You have 3 vials. I'll take one and leave you the rest. Fun Boy snarls with disdain. Oh, what a kind soul you are. Eric crushes one of the vials in his hand and grabs one of the empty syringes as Fun Boy looks on in horror. The gin mill. Be there at midnight. Bring some friends. We'll have a party. Eric turns around and walks out. And Fun Boy, don't be happy. Worry. Eric would return to home base to gather himself before departing for the gin mill, when the visions and ghosts from the past begin their mental and emotional onslaught once again. As Eric enters the bedroom, he is driven back to moments of passion between him and Shelley, while the crow once again gives his haunting commentary, while another voice vocalizes Eric's inner pain. Eric, hey Eric, you don't want to go in there. This place hurts worst of all, doesn't it? You were the closest here, weren't you? Stick the knife in. Remember the smell of her hair? Love and trust and innocence and respect, forever and ever. Hurts more than words can say, doesn't it? Break it off. She used to hug you so hard your ribs would hurt. You were the luckiest man alive, weren't you, Eric? Come on, Eric, don't do this. Remember the soft morning sun play across her white skin, shining off that golden hair? Christ, she was beautiful, so sweet and kind. She was perfect, breathtaking. Remember the little love notes she'd leave you on the fridge? Deeper. Remember how you used to wake up at night and just watch her sleep? Twist it. The visions fade as Eric holds his head in agony. Why do you do this to yourself? Eric sits by the window as the emotional pain fades. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God chose, I shall but love thee better after death. Book 3. Irony. Eric loads up all of his tools and devices of murder and revenge as we are met with a narration and flashes of a church vigil and Shelley. There is more than one way to purify the soul. There is absolution and redemption, salvation and a means to an end. And if these axioms are of opposing polarities, there is, at least, some consolation in the fact that they have a common ground. Shelley speaks. Mine? Forever. Only forever? Forever and ever. Eric, armed to the teeth, approaches the gin mill, draws up a syringe of morphine, injects himself, pulls a shotgun from his trench coat, and cocks it, then enters the bar. Inside, the bartender greets Eric. Well, what the hell do you call that? Eric slams the door behind him and answers. Can Funboy come out and play? Standing before him is Funboy, baseball bat in hand, surrounded by a posse of thugs. Hey boys, this is the guy throwing the party. This brings the attention to Eric. So the vampire does show up. Ready for your Sunday school lesson, pal? Yes, I've come to kneel and worship. This is just another altar in the Church of Pain. Eric stands before the group of degenerates with arms outstretched as they look on in bewilderment. Can you believe this guy, Funboy? Want me to cap him now, Fun? He gotta be joking. Nah, let him ramble on for a minute or so. 7 blackbirds in a tree. Count them and see what they be. Eric slowly walks towards the bar table and climbs on top while continuing to deliver his message, sounding like some twisted nursery rhyme. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for secrets that have never been told. You're all going to die. The bartender pulls a shotgun from under the bar. I'll put a stop to this right quick, Funboy. Eric turns his attention to the bartender. Oh, barkeep, would you hold on to this for me till I ask for it? In what seemed like a light-speed flash, Eric throws an axe into the shoulder of the barkeep. Why, thank you, sir. Take him out! The large group of thugs pull their guns, ready themselves for a ensuing gun battle. Eric continues his banter. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held, but just ourselves, and immortality. Eric pulls a revolver and a semi-automatic pistols from his jacket. Okay, boys, let's do it. Eric and the thugs open fire on each other. Eric takes multiple bullets with no effect, while the thugs, on the other hand, aren't so lucky. Their numbers begin to thin rapidly. We're not done playing yet, are we? Eric continues his massacre as the thugs scramble. He's got to be wearing a vest. Somebody get a headshot in. Damn, TJ got one dead square. The onslaught continues as Eric advances towards the bullet-ridden group as the casings fell to the floor. Can't anybody hit him in the head? God damn it, he ain't missed once. Somebody take him down. He's only one guy. A stray bullet strikes Eric's head above his eye, momentarily slowing him down. So, the ghost does bleed after all. Eric, with blood trickling down from the wound on his head, reloads his gun. Death, like virtue, has its degrees. Martyrdom is now the price of salvation. Eric shoots the thug right beside Funboy, splattering his brains everywhere. And he was clothed in vesture, dipped in blood. Eric pulls a shotgun from his coat and finishes off the rest of Funboy's crew as he realizes his fate is sealed. It appears, Funboy, that the party has ended. Funboy sits at a table and begins to speak to Eric. Not wearing a vest, are you, Casper? Don't matter no ways. I done what I done and I ain't sorry. Man, I done worse. Killed this whole family up in Bloomfield Hills when Daddy pinned me on a key. Tell you this, pal. She was real hot, your girl. Even with half her head blown off. Didn't bother me none either, doing her like that. Eric looks on with blood pouring down his face with a motionless stare as Funboy smiles and gloats. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. Funboy, go find T-Bird. I'm eager to be done with this. Go, Funboy, go and fetch T-Bird. You know where to meet me. The field by the old factory? Yes, the road by the field, you remember. Go, and don't make me come after you, Funboy. I will hurt you a lot, and slowly. Ain't got nowhere to run. It's not from you anyways. You're gonna kill me there, ain't you? Funboy, you were dead the moment you touched that girl. Promise me you'll make it quick and clean. Yes, for you I promise. Not T-Bird. The two exit the gym mill and goes their separate ways until the final confrontation. 1 hour, no longer. I'm a junkie, but I ain't no Judas. We'll be there. Eric returns to his house and contemplates the task at hand, stews in his anger, and curses God. God, you bastard. How could you do that to her? How could you make something so soft and innocent and beautiful and then destroy it? How could you do that? How could you make her suffer like that, you bastard? Eric, with bloody arms from his self-inflicted wounds, collapses in grief and experiences another flashback as he continues to carve up his arms with a straight razor. Like flashes of light through lattices of a closet door, we see Shelley sitting in the living room floor, disappointed after attempting to put together a piece of furniture. Darn these things. Follow the instructions perfect. Shoot, these things never work for me. Eric can fix it. He's so good at this stuff. Eric enters the room, fresh off from work day, with lunch pail in hand, and unable to stop staring at Shelley. Eric, I didn't hear. Shh. Eric, what's wrong? Are you okay? Nothing's wrong. I just want to look at you. Are you sure you're okay? God, you're so beautiful. Eric, Shelley, I love you so much that it hurts my heart when I'm away. Eric, I think about you every minute of the day too. Eric continues to relive the memory and pay penance. I love you so much it scares me. We're something, huh? Yep. The two lovers embrace each other, and the dream abruptly ends as the straight razor hits the floor and Eric begins to lose his resolve and his grip on reality as he begins chanting maniacally, "The cat in the hat, the cat in the hat," as he draws a picture of the cat in the hat on the wall with his own blood and another memory fades in. Both Eric and Shelley are in their bathroom. Shelley is soaking in the bathtub while Eric is at the vanity the night of their engagement. Go ahead, Missy. Keep splashing. I've got this big old cup and some ice cold tap water. You wouldn't dare. Mighty sure of yourself, ain't you? I'm a woman. So where are we going to celebrate our engagement? I thought we'd go dancing, have a picnic on the beach, watch the sun go down, fool around. No way, I don't feel like dancing. Great, that gives us a few more hours to kill. Oh, no you don't. Don't you even think about it, Eric. 2 people can't fit in here. I'm serious. Eric forces himself into the bathtub with Shelley, splashing water all over the floor. Okay, wise guy, you're mopping that up. The memory once again fades, and another begins. 1 year ago. End of book 3. And that's going to bring this episode of the Grizzly Guide to the end. Make sure you stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of The Crow. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss future episodes of the Grizzly Guide and all the forms of badassery that I offer. So until next time, remember, comics are for everyone.